Chloe, can I have another coffee, please? The show's about to start. And these are the topics that we'll be talking about when I've got coffee and the guests are in here. Here we go. Community, family, community, family, community, family. An 89-year-old writes in to tell us the reason we have so much isolation is because we've lost community and family. We'll see what the panellists have got to say. Book week, right around Australia. But everyone's dressing in Disney and Marvel characters, and it's more about the movies than it is about literature. And finally, why are we getting rid of cash? $10,000 and above, soon to be illegal, and you can't go to an ATM anymore. There's no one to be found. Shopping centres, they're all out of there now. See what the panellists have got to say. Sweet and sour, you're booked in right now to start.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar in there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next chat-filled half hour with some terrific chatsters here. First up, my favourite chatster. Sometimes it's tough to shut him up, but we like him when he rambles. Hey, Jono, how are you?
Hello, Mitch. Very well, thank you.
The former Mayor of Bassendean.
Indeed, it's that time again. I'm coming to a door near you in Bassendean. It's election time. I'm pounding the pavement.
Terrific.
There's nobody I won't harass.
Danny, do you live anywhere near Bassendean?
No, thankfully, I'm safe over in Leader Hill. I'm going to be hiding anytime the door knocks.
Oh my goodness! How's the world of child protection?
Oh, it's going as well as child protection can go. But
You're managing to smile.
I am managing to smile because we're getting some good progress down in Armidale. We've got some great community development work going down there. So
Good for you. Nice
little
to
bits
hear.
of progress, just little bits at a time.
How's my favourite broadcaster?
I'm not quite a broadcaster yet. Still a student. 2 more months and then I'll be there.
Is that it?
Yeah.
2 more months and then you're going to go and study some more, are you?
No, I'm done. This is my postgrad. I'm finished
You're
after
done?
this. Yeah.
That's what you said to me
Until I'm
about...
like 70 and then I might go and study something ridiculous.
Oh, well, that means I've got to do something next year, doesn't it? If I'm taking your leave. I'm not 70 yet. I'm close. Hello, Pete.
Hello, Gary.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
How's
Nice
the
to be
world
back.
of political consulting?
Yeah, look, it's slowly but surely. So it's not only it's government relations, it's media, it's comms, it's public relations. So
Well
if you've got a
qualified to sit
message-
on this panel, sir.
Yeah, if you've got a message to sell, I'm your man.
Okay, I've got a
Free
message
plug.
to sell. Community TV needs extensions. Do you think anyone's listening to that, Travis? I don't know, mate. We'll see. Hello, panellists. Writes Ernest of Claremont in WA. I'm old and I've seen much over my 89 years. My family and friends tell me that I always have a positive disposition and that's what's kept me young and fit. I am, however, feeling a little despondent for our future as I see it, in that we're in a period of social decline. I hope it's just a short-term aberration. As youngsters in my day, we did everything for one another. We had an enormous sense of community and hopping in to help. It's why young men a little older than me enlisted to go into World War II. We were doing it to do the right thing to protect our families, each other and our communities. Everyone belonged to each other. Now I see isolation everywhere. Old people are on their own and young people are on their own. The rates of depression, anxiety, suicide and youth suicide in particular have gone through the roof because people feel increasingly isolated. You don't get real community from a smartphone. You only get a dopamine hit. We once heard politicians speaking of building community. Now they talk of building the economy. Panellists, I might be old, but I'm looking to you with an optimistic hope that you may have good suggestions for rebuilding our community and bringing back that sense of looking out for one another. As I said, Ernest in Claremont of WA writes straight to you, Yvonne.
I couldn't agree with Ernest more.
Glad you said more on the end of that.
But I don't know how you actually achieve that. I definitely know that the fact that we're on smartphones and we're on social media constantly, it's not good for us. We're naturally communal creatures. We want to be in a tribe. We want to help out each other. We want to be touchy-feely. And I totally agree. I think being on mobile phones creates a false sense of being connected when you're absolutely not, because you're not actually going out and seeing people and interacting. I'm a big fan of volunteering. I think if people get out and see where in their community they can help out, that would be, definitely beneficial for their mental health. But I don't know how you encourage that more than we already have.
Pete, we're going to have to get used to the age of the phone, and it's a reality now. What we're going to have to do is try and balance it up with family and community as well. Where do we go?
Yeah, look, interesting topic. At 89 years of age, Ernest, you've definitely seen a lot over time. As a father of a 3-year-old, fighting for the iPad and their phone and screen time is a daily, I wouldn't say battle, but it's an issue and we need to manage it. But I think it comes back down to the importance of the village and the community. And social media has definitely had an impact on that. The way we communicate, the way we interact. It's, nowadays you don't even have to meet the love of your life, you just swipe left or swipe right. Not that I know. But look, it's a scary future, I think, for our children, and we've got to take back the reins and control. And whether it's, look, I'm not really one for more and more regulation, but I think picking up on what you said about volunteering, get involved with your local sports club, your local community club. Maybe get some tips from your local councillor down in Bassendean and try and find out how you can get involved with your local community, because that is what it's all about. Flick the phone away, turn it off for half a day and go outside, kick the ball around, hang off a tree or a swing. I think you'll get more out of that than getting a dopamine hit.
Speaking of our local councillors,
It's up to me now. Look, Ernest, something that doesn't happen very often on this show. In fact, I think in the 10 years or so I've been doing this show, I don't think I've ever said this, but I actually agree with you wholeheartedly in what your letter is. Normally I'm calling people atrocious things for writing in such bullshit on this show. But you've hit the nail on the head. You're 50 years my senior. Social media, absolute disaster. It's a stacks on mentality. I think we need to clean up social media. Also, back in the day, certainly growing up, I remember when you used to be told to get out into the neighbourhood, get on your bike, go down to the local park.
Get outside.
And now everybody's absolutely scared shitless to go anywhere. So I think we need to make our neighbourhoods feel safer and make them safer again to make sure we get everybody out in our communities rather than hiding at home.
Wouldn't it? Just to make them feel safer, then
Absolutely.
We'd be out there.
Yep.
Danny?
The worst thing you can do is have closed doors mentality.
Closed doors. Now, to some degree, you're in the direct line of fire of this one, because it's about building community, really, to make people feel safer.
Absolutely. And look, I work in community development, and spaces and opportunities for people to connect are essential. But at the end of the day, government, businesses, community development professionals, they actually can't create community. The people in the community have to create the community. So my suggestion is you've got to start small. Just go out there, do something, anything. If it's your neighbours, if it's your friends, if it's your family, don't wait for anyone else to do it, because they won't.
Yeah, the change starts here.
Yep,
That's always
absolutely.
the case. We asked our viewers, that's you at home, to answer this for us. Whilst we unquestionably are experiencing scientific and technical advancement around the world, are we at the same time seeing a decline in social attachments and real concern for one another? Here's what you said. To the tune of 74%, yes. Only 26% said no. I wonder if that's a reflection of how many people are actually feeling isolated and how many people aren't. 1/4 of the people in our community aren't feeling isolated, but the overwhelming majority are. Perhaps. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Book Week. Has it become a farce? I don't know. I never did Book Week. I'm too old. They only introduced it 30 years ago. Or when we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. Who did Book Week?
I did.
Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar in there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Can't do it, mate. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you would like to send us a letter, send it to one of these social media contact points that's appearing on your screen right now. There it is. And for every letter that does land here, having received it through one of those 5 social media contact points, we will send you to the movies, courtesy of our lovely Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And we're sending you to a movie of your choice this week, to the Palace Cinemas. Hi there, Sweet and Sour. I'm a primary school teacher in a private school and love my job. We recently celebrated Book Week across all the schools in the nation. I'm really disappointed that so many of my colleagues and parents of pupils have derailed what was once a wonderful celebration of literature for the young, as it was when I was at school not so long ago. Now there is a backlash if it's not about dressing up and parading as your favourite movie character. I had children who, despite having it outlined that they would address as a literary figure that they've read, turned up dressed as their favourite Disney or Marvel character without even having read so much as a single comic book. What do the panellists see as the value of Book Week that only has a tenuous link to the written word, and how do you suggest we bring it back to celebrating imagination fuelled by literature? And how do you suggest I deal with colleagues and parents who just don't get it? Comes to us from Kiara of Findon in South Australia. What are they thinking in Findon, South Australia there, Jono?
Oh, well, Gary, didn't take long. Kiara, no wonder people are deserting South Australia in droves. I mean, they've got very boring people like you running the schools. You know, a bit of fun, a bit of creativity with people dressing up, and you want to poo-poo it. Look, quite simply, you know, you've got Harry Potter this day and age. I grew up with J.R. Tolkien and The Hobbit. You just got to encourage students, I believe, to get understanding deeper meaning of the characters, read the books, but certainly I think, Kiara, I think maybe you're a bit weak for your imagination side of things, and you should be encouraging the students to dress up and have all sorts of fun and imagination, and tell them there's more imagination inside a book.
Okay. Danielle, did you do Book Week?
I did do Book Week.
What did you do for Book Week?
I loved Book Week. So we'd have the fair come through, all the books come through, you'd dress up, there'd be a little parade. It was a lot of fun.
Were you dressing
but
up
it was
as-
about the books.
Were you dressing up as Marvel and Disney characters?
No, it
Who
was
were you
about
dressing
the
up as?
books. It was your favourite. I did one from, my favourite one was up in the old fairy tree, and there was this little character that disappeared up into the tree, and she was gorgeous, and no one had ever heard it before, so I spent the whole day explaining it to everyone. So
Terrific, imagination.
it was imagination, and I got to talk to other people about my favourite book. And I think the issue that Kiara's having here is that she shouldn't be focusing on the ones that come as the Disney character or the Marvel character. Focus on the ones that are looking at a book. Get them to explain why they love that character. Get them to share their love of reading
That's
with
right.
their students, and then they'll find the joy in that. Don't get so caught up on the ones that are dressed up as a TV character.
Unless, of course, they've all come as Batman. Oh, he's not even Marvel, is he? He's the other one, DC Comics.
I don't know which one's which.
Oh, good for you. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, tell me, Yvonne, what's going on here? Did you do Book Week?
Well, sort of. I'm pretty sure my school had Book Week, but it was sort of not compulsory to dress up as a character if you didn't want
Terrific.
to. I'm fairly sure I just dressed in whatever I wanted, but I always grew up reading, and I actually do agree with Kiara. I think that we need to encourage reading more in schools. I think that reading develops, well, I was actually looking today that reading develops empathy more than any other form of art does. And empathy is
Really?
incredibly important for developing minds, for the betterment of our society, for everything. It could be potentially quite detrimental for children to grow up not understanding the plight of other people. I think that we encourage more reading. I think that Book Week, it should be only wear costumes that are related to book characters. Make it stricter.
Make it stricter.
Yeah.
That's all. Focus on the people who've actually got it. Yeah, like what Danny and you have had to say there. Very positive suggestions. All right, Pete, final word. You've got a 3-year-old at home.
I do.
She's going to be in Book Week soon.
Well, she's actually taking part in it now.
Already?
Yeah.
At 3?
To an extent,
Does
yeah.
can she read?
Not really. She read pictures.
Okay, that's reading.
So, Kiara, look, I think, kind of agree with a little bit of John. You are a bit of a Debbie Downer. Coming from South Australia, it's not your fault. But look, but I do think you highlighted an important issue. I say, yes, put the focus back on reading and literature. And why does Book Week have to be once a year? Make it every week or every day.
Smart, encourage it. Yeah.
Take that pressure off teachers and parents and kids. I think bring about the importance of what it is to read a book, and as you said, it improves improves your vocab, obviously. But my little girl went to school last week. It was Book Week, and there's no superhero action. It was come in your pajamas and bring your favourite book.
What book are you reading at the moment?
Dr. Seuss.
Oh, gorgeous.
awesome.
10 apples on top. Great read.
Hang on, are you reading it to your daughter?
Absolutely.
Are you reading? Are you reading at the moment?
Yeah, I am. I'm reading. I read multiple different books at the moment. Today I read 40 pages of Tuesdays with Maury, my favourite book.
Oh, that's a gorgeous book. You reading?
Yes.
What are you reading?
The Screw Tape Letters at the moment.
Ooh.
C.S. Lewis.
Jono?
Oh, Kiara's going to hate me. I'm actually viewing. That's what I like to do. Just like the kids in her class, like to view.
Well, you've got to mix it up a little bit, don't you? We asked you at home, has Book Week become more about the individual rather than the books? And here's what you said. Sure has, 76%. It's like the last slide we had for the last segment almost. That was 74%. And 24% said no. 24% are into it, 76% are out of it. When we come back, we're going to talk about becoming a cashless society. That's the way we're being pushed by the government and the banks, apparently. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. Don't go away.
Here on Sweet and Sour.
Has some sugar in there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Has some sugar.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Well, it's a tough gig. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Hello, panellists. The government has done a deal with the banks to slowly get rid of cash. To get us used to the idea of a cashless society, it's floated in the media the idea of making illegal cash payments of $10,000 or more. With the banks now cutting back on ATMs everywhere, it's plain the push is on. So why would any government do that except to seek greater control over all transactions, meaning control over us? It's always about control. Purchasing any large item like a car, property, holiday, etc., I've always asked how much discount if I'd paid either all or a proportion in cash, and I always received a huge discount. Yes, I've heard the bulldust arguments that it's about curtailing criminal activity. I just laugh knowing that billions are illegally swiped from all of us electronically constantly. I don't know anyone who hasn't had a credit card or bank account electronically sabotaged. Criminals just find ways to be criminals. It has nothing to do with a cashless society. The young people don't know it, but the old cliche that there is no safer place than cash under the mattress, or for that matter, well hidden elsewhere, has become a cliche because it's something we all knew. I don't know about that. This push by the government speaks volumes about how weak our politicians still are when dealing with the billionaire corporate bankers. Put them in jail and leave our access to cash in place, please. Richard of Oakley in Victoria. Danny.
Wow, the paranoia underlying this letter is out there, really. I mean, and not to add to the paranoia or anything, but I would like to ask him why he thinks he gets such a huge discount when he's paying cash on things. It made a lot of sense back in the days you'd have really high merchant fees on credit cards, but why would they be doing it now? And perhaps is it because they're not declaring that transaction?
Very good.
And maybe not paying tax on it? So I know he says that he's heard
They prefer cash, yeah.
I know he said he's heard the argument that the criminal activity side of it is bulldust, but I'm not sure it really is. I think there's cash under the table is still a big problem for government, and government has a legitimate interest in trying to curtail tax avoidance. So I'm not sure that getting rid of cash payments of a certain amount is a great use of regulation, but I think there's something to be done there, and I certainly don't think he's really hit the nail on the head with what his actual problem with.
Jono, I'm old school. I like cash.
Yeah,
I feel like I've got money.
Yep. Well, you know, Richard, I think you're sitting at home right now with your tinfoil hat on. I can just imagine there watching the TV. No doubt. You've got plenty of mobile towers around your house because you've been zapped a few times. But look, not everything that you say is complete and utter garbage. Yes, you can actually still pay electronically, cash, through transfers. But also, the other thing that should occur is that, and I agree with you with the swipe and pay stuff, it should actually be linked every time your card is tapped to your phone, that you get a message that your card and you've actually transacted, so you actually know and know every time something's actually happened from your account, which I have, which is making sure nothing actually untoward happens. Or if it does, you're onto it straight away.
I know a couple of mates who were in business who had cash-only businesses. And very recently they've both gone over to these, and they've both told me, one told me his business went up 27% because everybody has cards now, it's just easier. So whether you're right or wrong, I think you're swimming against the tide. We asked you at home before we asked Yvonne and Pete, Do you believe that the move by banks and governments to create a cashless society is a move for greater control only for their benefit and not for the benefit of the people or individuals? Here's what you said. 70% said yes, it's for the benefit of the banks and the government.
Wow.
And we're going straight to Peter.
Yeah, well, Richard, I think I'll pick up on your last point. You're right. The banks are focused on making money for themselves and their shareholders, and we've had a royal commission into the whole banking industry and the finance industry, and a lot of dirty laundry has been aired from there. But I think whether they're actually trying to control, maybe it's a bit 1984. Maybe we're not there yet. We might be on our way there. I don't think we're there yet. I'll put it to you guys here. How many of you got cash on you right now?
I do.
Yeah? You?
I don't
Not
know.
very
I don't. So there you go. It's definitely going that way, isn't it? Mix and match. So, look, I don't think it's a cashless society. Whether we get there in total, I don't think so. I don't know. I'd hope not. There's definitely room for cash society. I mean, how is he going to get a discount on that fridge or that telly? So, or that used car that you want just to run laps around. So, I think there's plenty of scope for cash to remain in our society. I don't think the government's going to crack down hard on it just yet.
I wonder what the psychology is behind a cash discount. And I'm a shopkeeper, and I don't actually prefer cash. I actually prefer card. But there was a time when I preferred cash, and I think that was just because everybody else preferred cash. Now I've got a big sign up that says no cash accepted here. I don't know whether I'm allowed to do that or not.
Right.
Cash? You're not a cashy. You don't have any on you.
No, not at the moment. I have nowhere to put it. Not on this dress anyway.
Okay.
No, I just genuinely, as I was saying to you earlier, in all of the years that I've been coming to this show and read all of these letters, for the first time, I had no opinion. On this particular letter,
Because you don't feel strongly about it? You've not thought about it?
I don't feel strongly about it. I have thought about it since, but I guess I just accepted that we were moving towards a largely cashless society, and that was probably in the best interest of us and of society.
You hope.
I mean, maybe call me a sheeple, but I felt that was progress, and that's the way of the future. So.
Well, it probably is. There's a big wave. I don't know whether it's beneficial. The problem will be when we're all completely switched off from cash, and then we're completely controlled. The bank can say, okay, you're not in control there. The government can say, right, all those people who've got that, boom. It's a different story when there's cash around and accounts, electronic accounts, to when it's completely electronically controlled. And I don't know whether that is 1984 or what, but and Abby's going, we've got to go. Jono!
Thank you very much.
I'm not allowed to call you Your Honour anymore, am I?
Oh, well, we'll just say we're in the American system.
Yes.
Title for life.
We'll keep the title for life. All right, Your Honour, lovely to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
see you again soon. Danny, did you enjoy this second time?
I always love it.
All right. Head back to the community and do some good work for us there for those kids.
I'll try.
Well done. Always good to see you.
Always good to be here. Can I please have an honourable title as well, though, in future?
Okay. In future, okay. Would you like me to work on that?
Yes.
Or do you want to send me an honourable title and tell me what you think I should be calling you on the show?
I will send you that.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll have an honourable title. Pete, do you want an honourable title too?
No, I'm happy with Pete. Thank you, Gary.
I'm happy
I'm
with
basic.
Pete too. And you've been terrific on the show tonight, Pete. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Danny. And thank you, Jono.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye to everybody. Thank our terrific panellists. Thank our terrific crew. And thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Look, they're already waiting. They know what to do here. All right. Good night, everyone. See you next week.